Hey guys, what is going on? It is Matt Metagross here, coming with you with a Viabilities video. Yep, I know this is new for my channel, and I really love this concept, so I'm running with it. So, as you can see, today we are doing Reuniclus. If you look at its stats, you can see monster HP, monster defenses, monster special attack. Its physical attack and speed are very lacking, however, it doesn't really need them. And you're gonna see why even its physical defense isn't the greatest. It's a little low, but you'll see as we go on why that doesn't really matter. So let's jump into this with Reuniclus. So first off, I'm just gonna show you guys a few moves which I couldn't fit on here. These 4 moves, great moves for Reuniclus. I just don't have a set for them because Reuniclus just has so many options that sometimes you've got more than you. Sometimes you just got to throw these moves on here just to show, hey, you need these moves. Reuniclus has them. Even though you're not always going to run them, they're there. So, anyways, let's get into the first set. So, the first set, you're going to see Reuniclus is great because of its abilities. If it didn't have 2 great abilities and a third decent one in Overcoat, which is something I'm not going to go over Overcoat a ton, it's very matchup dependent, but if your opponent has a Sporemon, I would always recommend running that Overcoat, especially if you don't trust your grass type to take hits. For example, say your grass type is a Ferrothorn and your opponent has a Breloom. Well, Breloom's just going to nuke your Ferrothorn anyway, so you might want to bring Reuniclus because it's a fighting resist. Anyways, this is the Regenerator Assault Vest set. This was made famous by Pokemon, which, yeah, he is one of the most avid Reuniclus users in the universe. So, you just look at some of the covers this thing gets. Psyshock, it also gets Psychic, obviously, which means stab on both sides, which is phenomenal, especially since it doesn't have to invest in its physical attack to get that physical hit. Gets Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball is for psychic types that want to come in on it. Energy Ball. Some bulky waters can come in on Reuniclus, so it's nice to have that. And Focus Blast, which means it can hit the steel types and the dark types it couldn't otherwise. The EVs, this is usually what you're going to run on any Assault Vest set. Because the thing about this is you want it to be able to hit back hard. You want it to be a presence. And you don't really have to worry about it surviving because as long as it's not 2 KO'd, you can just switch out with your regen and get a third of your health back. This set makes for a phenomenal pivot and a phenomenal bulky attacker. You would be surprised at how many hits AV Reuniclus can take. So, let's see, what else was there? Oh yes, if you do some calcs on any of these sets, you might want to change your EV spreads around, especially your bulk stats. Because with this, I can say that sometimes you might need more defense than special defense. Or you might not need the special attack to get to a KO. So always mess around with your EVs on any set I give you. So, moving on, we have my personal favorite set, which is Calm Mind Reuniclus. Now, you'll see we have Psyshock, Recover, Focus Blast, Calm Mind on the set. Now, your coverage here, as with the last set, your coverage depends on the opponent's team. Never take any of these sets and put them dot for dot. These are sample sets. You need to make sure that it makes sense with the team you're facing. Now here, I have a max physically defensive Reuniclus with a Colbur Berry, because often your opponent's going to have a dark type or a knockoff user which is designed to beat Reuniclus. Colbur Berry makes that not as much of an answer anymore, and if it's just a simple knockoff user, you get a free Calm Mind on it. If it's a dark type, you get a Focus Blast it and chunk it. I have Magic Guard on this set, which is its third phenomenal ability. What Magic Guard does is make it so that your opponent can't Toxic you, can't T-Wave you and get Paras. That is one of the 2 greatest weaknesses of any Calm Mind user, is its status weakness. Or any setup super in general has a status weakness. Not Reuniclus. Well, it doesn't do anything against getting fully parried, which kind of sucks. But that also means that you don't have to worry about hazards. You can bring it in freely on anything. So you don't have to worry about your opponent having calcs after rocks, anything like that. And the reason I have max PhysDef bulk is because you can be boosting your special attack. You're going to be boosting your special defense anyways. Those are the only other two stats that matter. So I maxed out the two stats, which you're not going to be boosting every turn that you need to. And recover, this thing gets recovered off so easily on so many things because that HP stat allows it to take so many hits. And then on any calm mindset, I'd advise running Psyshock over Psychic. This is because if you ever get into a calm mind war with your opponent, you always have the option of hitting Psyshock and hitting their non-boosted physical defense stat. So, moving on to the next set. Here we have a Trick Room, Life Orb Magic Guard, Offensive Reuniclus. So, the thing about Magic Guard Life Orb is that Life Orb doesn't tick down whenever you use an attack with Magic Guard. And unlike Sheer Force, all moves are affected by this. So using, say, a Psyshock if you want it over Psychic doesn't hurt the fact that you will not take the tick. Now, I do have Psychic on this set over Psyshock because I want more power. However, Psyshock is better if your opponent has something that's insanely specially bulky, like a Florges. You definitely want to bring Psyshock. So all this set is designed to do. Oh, by the way, the EVs are screwed up here for some reason. It's supposed to be 248 HP, 8 physical defense, 4 physical defense, 4 special defense, because putting 8 in any stat never actually changes your calcs. Something you should always pay attention to. And 252 special attack with a modest nature. I would never change the special attack if you're running a Trick Room offensive set, because Trick Room Reuniclus is meant to be a late game sweeper or a mid game breaker. You can't sacrifice your offenses. You can move your HP to a different stat, because if your opponent has almost entirely physical attackers, then investing in your physical defense will be more effective than investing in your HP. So, basically, the idea behind this set is come in, set up Trick Room, and start blowing everything back with 115 base special attack, Life Orb boosted, Psychics, and then Shadow Ball for other Psychic types, and Focus Blast for Steel and Dark types. So, that's all the offensive sets Reuniclus runs besides maybe 4 attacks Life Orb. But there are some utility sets that this thing can run, and holy smokes, is Reuniclus a great utility mon, and we're going to see that now. Dual screens Reuniclus. Holy smokes. This thing gets so absurdly bulky under the screens. Now, run Light Clay on this set to get your max turns of your screens, because this thing does get reliable recovery. I'd suggest Regenerator on this set because at any point you can switch out after just like you come in, you set up a light screen, you get out. You come in, set up both screens, get out, whatever. You don't have to stay in with this set. So I would suggest running Regenerator over Magic Guard. Now, Mono Psychic attacking, don't do that if they have a dark type. Run a different move like Shadow Ball if they don't have a normal type, or Signal Beam maybe. Reuniclus gets a lot of great moves, so odds are one of them will be able to hit a decent chunk of your opponent's team for good damage. But yeah, there's not much to say about this set. As long as you get it in safely, it's gonna put in some work. With these EVs being mass def, basically, I'd suggest going max into one defense side, and then your plan being to immediately click the other defense side so that your bulk becomes balanced. That's just a strategy I'd use. Obviously, a situation can dictate that, and you can balance your bulk depending on the team. Running some calcs, you may only need so much special defense stat that you may only need so much special defense that none of the special attackers can to KO you. So then you can run the rest into Fizz Def. So, moving into our last set for Reuniclus. So this is going to be a Magic Guard Recover Thunderwave support set. Now, this set is the first set to have leftovers, and that's because this thing's really job is only to stay around and make sure that it gets things paralyzed. Because Reuniclus isn't always going to be the biggest threat to your opponent's team. Your opponent might have 6 answers to it. Like, let's say they've got a Mandibuzz and a... Oh, I'm trying to think of other answers. Like a Mandibuzz and a Heatran and an what else is there? Oh my gosh, I cannot think right now. A Sableye and a like a oh, I'm trying to think of anything else. Why can I not think right now? Like a Crest too. So they've got that many answers, and you can't hit all of them with 4 moves. So run a support Reuniclus, and all this does is make it so that they can't beat you with any Mon, because they think they're switching into an answer when really they're just switching into something that's going to get parried, and that might be the gate that your other sweeper needed to do its job and win the game for you. So even when Reuniclus can't sweep, it can put in work for you and do stuff like just being an absolute nuisance to your opponent. And that's something that makes Reuniclus phenomenal. So, overall, what grade would I give Reuniclus? How high would I prioritize it in any draft? Well, there's a few things about Reuniclus. First off, it is weak to Ghost, and Dark, which are common weaknesses for a draft to have. So you do have to be careful when you're drafting around it. That's pretty much the only negative, because it's not even a tier 1 in most leagues. I've even seen it drop down to tier 3. So it's even a decent value. So I'd have to give Reuniclus a solid A. It's not without its weaknesses, that's for sure. But it's got the tools to work around them, and even when it can't, it can go supportive and help your team to a win. I don't think there's a Mon I'd ever draft over Reuniclus intentionally, and because of that, I have to give it this high grade. Thanks guys for watching, like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and see you guys next time.